In our last video, Mark showed you how to change our tank sensors, which is something we have to do like once a year. There's a few tools that you need to do, really not that hard of a job, and these tank sensors really work well for us as opposed to the ones that came with the camper. Also, we changed the water filter. Yay! This video is all going to be about everything that's under the hood and what makes the wheels go round.
One of the more important things about checking your motor and taking a look under the hood is checking the fluid levels. We're talking about the oil, the transmission fluid, the radiator, and power steering, and to some extent the fuel filter too. They all have to be up to spec so that you're getting a reliable operation out of the RV. I think I'm probably preaching to the choir here. If you're watching this video, you probably already know all this stuff and you just want to see under the hood. But I'll just give you a couple of quick facts about this motor, because people ask us all the time, what engine is that? I'm like, it's a Cummins diesel. And then they say, well, what horsepower? And I usually don't know. So the RV is an M2-106. That's Freightliner's designation. It's a Cummins ISL 350 horsepower motor, and that's hooked up to an Allison 3200 TRV automatic transmission. The torque is 1,050 foot-pounds at 1,300 RPM, and it's governed, there's a governor on the truck that we don't exceed 2,200 RPMs. Normally we run around 2,000 anyway. Some other things, it's 7.3 gallons of oil for the oil, and the oil should get changed for us every 32,000 miles. And that's also when your oil filter will get changed and when your fuel filter gets changed. Now the radiator, that's another thing. The radiator's 384,000 miles before you have to change the coolant in the radiator. So that's a couple of things that people ask us all the time about the motor, and those are the things that I think you should check. And we're going to go back and look under the hood, and I'll show you where all that stuff's at. Well, we got the hood open. I'm going to go around and show you the air filter. Here's the air filter. The element is inside here. You just unscrew 3 bolts, you pull it off, and you can replace the air filter. This is the radiator fluid level. This is a reservoir for it, and that's where your radiator fluid goes. Okay, what we're looking at here in between is the air conditioning condenser is the one that you see. That's not the actual radiator. I'm going to show you the radiator right now. Reopen the hood. Come on around this way, bud.
Okay.
You can shoot right back over here through there. You can see the radiator. So that's our radiator. Well, this is the alternator down here. Kind of important with an RV because you want to get that electricity over to your battery bank. Here's the belt, your drive belt, and it's attached to the air conditioning compressor. This thing right here is the intake for the turbocharger. The turbocharger is back there. It's really hard to see, but maybe we can get an angle this way. There it is, hiding back there. That's your turbo right there. So it's a turbo diesel. And the intake is cold air. I guess that's why they put the blue pipe on it. Some other things that we got on this side, you have the windshield washer fluid. I can tell because it says windshield washer fluid on it. Very easy to see even with the hood closed. And this is your air dryer. If you have air brakes, you got one of these. That's where you hear the diesels, you'll hear them run with air brakes and they go psst. That's this thing going psst. Everybody say it with me. Psst. Okay, that was fun. Psst. Over on this side, this is your oil dipstick. Way back here is your transmission dipstick. This is your fuel filter right here. And this little pump here is to pump your diesel pressure up if ever you change this filter. Here's your power steering fluid. It's got a level on it. And then down here, this is your steering gear. This goes right up to the steering wheel inside the truck. This thing here is called a pitman arm, and that's what, when you move this back and forth, that moves this arm. When that arm moves, the wheels turn. To make a turn, not around. What else we got here? This right here, this is all your air stuff. These are for your brakes, your service brake, and for your emergency brake. What else are we looking at? Air horn, like that. And then your standard horn up there. So it has a loud horn, and it has a quieter horn, too. So, windshield washer linkage. We got some fuses in here, but not all of them for the camper. There's much more in the back. We got a shock absorber here. This is your braking system for your front brakes. And down at the bottom is one of the springs for the front axle. We got one on each side. I think that's about everything under the hood. We talked about a few things inside, and that's about it. That's what we got under the hood. Technically, this isn't under the hood, but we have a fuel fill here, and we have a DEF fill here. We talked about that DEF earlier, or maybe we're going to talk about it now. I'm not sure how we edit the video. Oh, and another thing, people ask us about this all the time. We're from Florida, so this doesn't happen often, but this is a plug for your block heater. So if you're in a colder climate, you can plug the truck in and heat up the motor before you start it. One of the other things we get asked about a lot in campgrounds on the road is, why are you putting DEF in there? What is DEF? What's it supposed to do? Basically, DEF is an acronym for diesel exhaust fluid. The simplest way I can tell you is it's a fluid that you inject into the exhaust stream, and that helps to reduce the black diesel smoke that comes out of the tailpipe. And they do it with something similar to a catalytic converter. And you have to do it. So that's the way it is. And interesting that the DEF is like a 2% mixture. So if you burn 100 gallons of diesel, you're going to burn 2 gallons of DEF. And well, enough talk about it. Let's go look at it. So this thing right here, this is part of the DEF system. See, it's in the exhaust system. And this is where that DEF fluid ultimately ends up. And this is how you clean up that exhaust fluid, or clean up the exhaust stream to get some of that black sooty stuff out. Very kind of, there's more to it than I know, and I don't know that much about these things. I just know that there's a lot of people that complain about them. I know it's very expensive to replace them, and I know that the truck won't run right unless it has the correct amount of def. It'll actually slow down the speed of the unit until you replace that def and make sure that that's topped off. So it's important that it keeps a good level of fluid. So that's part of the def. So when we were under the hood, we were looking at the oil levels, and the transmission fluid level was one of the ones I mentioned. One of the cool things about the Allison transmission is you can check that from inside the cab. Now there's an app that will show you how to do it, and you can get this through Cummins or Freightliner, and it's called a smart app, but they go through some stuff. So basically what you can do, you just go right down here and press these two buttons. It'll tell you what your oil life is, 84% obviously. Press again, filters are okay, trans health is okay, there's no codes. So that basically, you don't have to go and get your hands dirty. You can do it from right here, which I thought was pretty cool. And I just learned that today when I was putting this video together. So thank you for watching, and I learned something. I hope you did too. So we took a little trip, side trip, stopped off at Dynamax, at Camp Dynamax, just on an overnight to on our way to Ohio, and that's Dynamax. We've been here before, get the camper fixed. This trip we don't have anything to get fixed on the camper, plus it's out of warranty. We're actually planning on replacing the seats, seat covers for the driver and co-pilot seats, and also the dinette, but that won't be until November. It's currently August, so we're staying here just for tonight, and we'll be heading out of here in the morning, going to a state park somewhere here in Indiana. Oh, Shipshewana, my wife told me, like I'm an idiot, because I am. So we're going to Shipshewana tomorrow, which we've been to before as well. Maybe we'll shoot some video there, I don't know. But Dynamax, Camp Dynamax, they got like 3 or 4 spots here where you can do an overnight while you're waiting for work to be done. And there's the new campers for some of you people that might be waiting for yours. It might be done soon. That's all I have for this video about under the hood of the DX3. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments and questions underneath in this video. If you think I missed something, or there's something you want to see, put it in the comments and we'll try to do that in a future video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs up anyway, because hey, maybe the next one will be better. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little notification bell so that you'll get notified of any new videos that we put out. And with that being said, we'll see you up and down the road.